What's going on, y'all? I want to talk to y'all about something. We're going to get spiritually deep in the weeds on what I've observed about the murder of Tupac that night at the MGM Grand. The reason why I keep telling y'all is that Russell Poole's theory about Suge having Tupac set up to be killed was all the way off. First of all, like I said, Suge is not stupid enough to put himself in harm's way like that to where he would risk getting hit by any of those bullets that hit that car that night. But I will say that if you go back and you look at the video of Orlando in that casino that night, the way he was looking back and forth as if he was a man on a mission put into a position. Look at what he was wearing. He had on a 13 jersey. Now go back and watch the Hit 'em Up video with Tupac and the Outlaws. Idi Amin had that same jersey on in that video. Hit 'em Up. That's not a coincidence, because Hit 'em Up was a diss song that hit on a personal level. It hit below the belt. And then after the fight that night at the casino, when Keefe D and Orlando and them shot Suge's car up, how many bullets did the police report say hit Suge's car? 13. Now the tragic and unfortunate coincidence in all of this is that Tupac was pronounced dead on Friday the 13th. That stuff, in an earthly human standpoint, is a coincidence, but it's not a divine coincidence with God. All that stuff was put into place. It was set in place. It was set in motion. And that young man was put in that position that night to carry out the hit on Tupac and Suge. Why he was put in that position? Over money. They were going to take those men's lives over money. And there was nothing that Reggie Wright or Gene Deal could have done to prevent the murders of Tupac and Biggie. Because the bounties were set, the hits were plotted and planned, and they were dead men walking. Tupac, was set up to be killed. Tupac and Suge were set up to be killed over money and over, the bad boy death row beef. And because Puffy was protecting himself and his family. Biggie was murdered in retaliation for Tupac. That's just what it was and what it is. All that other stuff is way off the mark. Kading pretty much connected all of the crimes together. The jumping at the mall, the bounties on the chains, the night at the casino, and Biggie's murder. So there's nothing that could have been done to stop that, because the bounties were set, the hits were planned, and they were taken out. Diddy. I don't agree with all of this piling on Diddy and kicking him while he's down. Because whatever Diddy did or has done, that's between him and God. And that's something that he's going to have to answer for and be accountable to the Lord. And the Lord only, if it's meant for him to get prosecuted and indicted for the murder of Tupac Shakur, then God will allow that to happen. But if not, then it won't happen, because there was a legitimate reason for why he did that. Man is threatening your family and threatening your life. You gonna let him live? You gonna let him keep breathing? So that's between Puffy and God. But I don't like that tattoo that Puffy got on his back. That tattoo is of a Santeria or a voodoo goddess that is supposed to mimic the Virgin Mary and Jesus, because the devil wanted to be God. That's why he got kicked out of heaven. Satan wanted to be God. And that tattoo represents, these YouTube commercials, that tattoo represents Santeria. And okay, enough of Tupac. That tattoo represents Santeria. And y'all gotta watch the ink and stuff y'all get put on your body, because you don't know the demons that you are invoking and inviting into your life when you put that stuff on your body, and you have no idea what those tattoos signify. So yeah, that's my thing on that. I don't like all this kicking puppies while he's down and all this, because the very ones that's kicking him down now would have killed or died to get in them parties. Some of y'all done paid thousands of dollars to sit at this club and party with Puffy. He go to the Super Bowl or whatever, and he hosts a party in the city, whatever. Y'all lining up blocks and blocks to be in those parties, and now he's the worst monster in hip-hop and in music history, whatever. You know what? Humans are so fickle and two-faced and sometimey and Judas. Ugh. But, yeah. Same with Suge. Y'all kicking Suge, while he's down. All these podcasts and interviews, y'all talking about Suge Knight and how much of a monster he was and a thief he was and how much people didn't knock him out and all this other crap y'all talking now. But y'all wasn't talking that when y'all were getting money and gifts and trips and watches and all this stuff from him, and he gave y'all opportunities and signed y'all to his label when no other label probably would have touched you with a 10-foot pole. Ain't none of you probably been heard of, seen hide a hair of since Suge has lost Death Row. Because you're not that talented. It don't take a person to sit up and cuss on the mic and talk about killing and shooting and drugs and all this other crap. It don't take a talented person. But Tupac was talented, but y'all wasn't all that talented. So that's why y'all ain't that's why y'all ain't got no money now, and no record deal now, because Suge gave y'all an opportunity where there was no opportunities for y'all. So he made a way for y'all when y'all didn't have no way, and then you kick the man while he's down, while he's in jail, and you want to talk about him. But what if God decides, you know what? I'm gonna give Suge some grace and mercy. He's been in jail half his life. I think, his health is failing. I think he's paid for his crime. Let me set some things in motion to let him win an appeal. Let me get his sentence commuted. Let the governor grant him clemency and he gets out. Will y'all have that same energy? I don't think so. Let Suge get another position to where y'all could use him some kind of way, or take advantage of him some kind of way again like you used to. Will y'all sing the same little song that y'all singing for these little interviews that y'all getting? What they pay y'all for these interviews? $500, maybe $1,000, whatever. Y'all should have been talking about the man now. Whatever. I don't like that. Don't kick nobody while they down. I'm the underdog, and I'm for the underdog. I will always root for the underdog. I don't like all that bullying, gang stalking, piling up on people and stuff when they're not in a position to defend themselves. So y'all can miss me with that. But yeah. Keefe D, I have sympathy for you, but then I don't have sympathy for you, because what you did over money, you got a lot of blood on your hands. And I know you in jail, so you probably never see this video, but Keefe D has a lot of blood on his hands, because not only are you responsible for the deaths of Tupac and the near death of Suge Knight, you are also responsible for dragging your young nephew Orlando, into this whole mess, because you probably went to him and you said, yeah, I don't care if he was a banger on the street or whatever, you being the uncle, and there's a lot of years between the two of you, you should have been the one to tell your nephew to stay in school. Baby Lane, stay in school, get out of this life. You don't want this life. This is not for you. Make something of your life and do better than me. But no, you gonna bring him into this and put him in a position to where he is at that casino in that jersey and he shot up that car. Either he or you shot that car up. One of y'all did. Von Zip gave you the gun. And you gave the, whatever it is, you formed the weapon to initiate the assassination of Tupac Shakur. You provided the weapon. You and Von Zip did. Now, whether you pulled the trigger or Baby Lane pulled the trigger, you still are responsible and got that man's blood on your hands. And you also have Biggie's blood on your hands, because I think that either, yes, Biggie's death, or no, Biggie's murder was as a result of Tupac's murder. It was a retaliatory hit. 4 bullets hit Tupac and killed him. 4 bullets hit Biggie and killed him. All this stuff is in divine order. You know, God knew how all this stuff was going to play out. And you know, He knows all the players. He knows the plot. He knows the outcome. He knows the penalties, the punishments. He knows the forgiveness and the grace He's going to grant to those involved. But, yeah. Go back and watch those 2 videos and you'll see that there's no coincidence that Orlando was wearing that jersey that night. He was put into position by his uncle. So, all that free Keefe D talk, I agree with Mob James. That's just like digging Tupac and Biggie up and killing them again. Because that's just not, that's not justice. Free Keefe D, unless God decides to give him, you know, grace and mercy and he gets out of jail or whatever. Let God do what He do. And if He wants Keefe D in jail, then Keefe D is going to be in jail. But don't be talking about free Keefe D and I'm not going to tell the truth about what happened. Because if you don't tell the truth about what happened and this is to Suge, because Suge is the only survivor. You don't tell the truth about what happened, then your silence is nothing but it's a silent lie. It's the lie by omission. And Keefe D didn't care nothing about Suge Knight or Tupac's life. He's going to send both of them to hell that night. So why should you care about his freedom and his life? He didn't care about yours. And no, you don't gloat in the downfall of your enemy ever. That's what the Lord said. Don't gloat in the downfall of your enemy, because I'll turn my anger away from your enemy. But, yeah. Ain't no free Keefe D. Keefe D he was a major player in the deaths of both of these men. And I think as the, you know, us, the public, you know, he's telling us, he's giving us a message behind all of this. And like my mother used to always say, that you get by, but you don't get away with anything, because your sins will find you out. And I think that's what the message is behind these 2 murders that God is trying to show us as human beings. That you can get away with a lot of stuff. You think you got away with it, but ultimately God knows what you've done, whether it's in secret, whether you get prosecuted for it or whatever. You will never get away with it. You'll only just you'll get by for a time, for a season, but then you have to face the season of God's wrath. So yeah, but those murders have pretty much been solved. A lot of people have died. You know, a lot of those involved have died. The crooked cops and stuff, all of those people, a lot of them have died. You know, the men that pulled the triggers, the trigger men, they're dead. You know, so yeah, it's really it's unfortunate, but it's a divine message that God is showing us. You know. So yeah, it's something to look at. Go back and watch those videos. None of that is a coincidence. And we'll just have to wait and see what happens at this man's trial, whether he goes to jail for what his part. You know, he's trying to get out now, talking about, I only said that for entertainment purposes and all this other stuff. Oh no, you're not going to get out. There's no way you're going to slither yourself out of this, because You were responsible for both of these men's murders ultimately, and you had the nerve to brag about it, write books about it, give interviews about it, and profit off of your crimes. And now you want to take it all back for entertainment? What is entertaining about two young men getting cut down during the prime of their lives at 24 and 25 years old? What's entertainment about that? Compton street legend. They let you know you are old, your mind has not matured, have grew or developed or gained any type of wisdom after all these years. That you are still bragging about gang activity and gang life. There's a major difference between you and a Mob James, which he don't even want to be called Mob James anymore. James McDonald. He has a grandson. He's a family man. He's realized the error in his ways, and he does not glorify or glamorize any of that. Matter of fact, he said he's not even Mob Pyru anymore, because that's the sign of a man who has grown in wisdom and knowledge and spiritual maturity, unlike you. Like I said, Reggie Wright and Gene Deal, there's nothing. Frank Alexander, rest his soul. There's nothing y'all could have done, because those hits were plotted and planned, and the bounty was set, and what was going to happen happened. There's nothing nobody could have done. So no, I don't agree with that free Keefe D crap. Keefe D needs to pay for what he's done, if it's God's will for him to pay. And like I said, God can give a person grace and mercy, but and I don't know. I'm not God. My thoughts are not his thoughts. My ways are not his ways. But all that, like I said, kicking Puffy while he's down and gloating in his downfall, no, that ain't it. That ain't it. Especially when y'all were fans, y'all were friends, y'all were flunkies, y'all were artists, disgruntled employees or whatever y'all are, disgruntled groupies who it didn't turn out the way y'all thought, even though, y'all probably, a lot of y'all were probably willing participants. I'm not saying Cassie was, because I do believe that some things happened to her. I don't believe that I don't think she's lying, but that's something that, that's one of Diddy's mistakes that he's made. He's not a perfect person. Nobody's perfect. And, he's got to ask Cassie for forgiveness. And he compensated her, for the things that she went through. And that's between the two of them and God. But y'all kicking him while he's down, just like y'all kick Suge and are kicking Suge while he's down. Y'all better watch that stuff. Because I don't like bullies. I don't like gang stalking. I don't like all that stuff, when a person's in a position where they can't defend themselves. I'm not down with none of that, because I know how that feels. So, yeah, y'all. I hope y'all have a blessed new year, but I think just look at this stuff as it's a divine message for all of the world to learn from. It's a lesson that all the world to learn from God, that has went over so many people's heads. So yeah, I'm not gonna keep rambling on, but I just wanted to point that out to y'all. So y'all have a blessed 2024, and stay prayed up, and until then, see you later. Have a good day.